Hello, planet Earth and beyond. Welcome to Talk is Cheap. We've got an awesome episode tonight. We're talking about how ancient humans bred with a completely unknown species. Some dude, a prophet that can summon UFOs on call, and we have live television footage of this. And Operation Northwoods makes you wonder what the hell the US government's up to. So stay tuned and check us out and enjoy Talk is Cheap. Welcome to Talk is Cheap, where cheap is talk and talk is cheap. My name is Pete Halbleib, and with me tonight is
Dan Hohlfeld, back in action.
Right on, and
Dusty Long, always here.
Yes, that's right, Dan. I believe our last episode, you were out on some super secret covert mission.
See, I knew you would ask about this, so I was prepared. I went down south.
Okay.
And met this fucking Dos Equis guy. Stay thirsty, my friends, because this is good shit.
Awesome. Well, I see that Dan's brought back a libation from down south. Not exactly the update we were looking for, but I'm glad you had fun. Looking forward to hearing what you're going to talk about this evening.
Oh, I got a good one for you, but that's related.
Yep, yeah, we're all surprised. One thing that folks may not realize is that before the show here, we do very minimal research into the topics, although Dusty may disagree.
I wouldn't say that.
I only spend 5 minutes Google searching.
Yeah,
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, so yeah, Dan does a really good job. Oh hell, I forgot where we were going with this.
A lot of research.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
We don't do as much
Yeah.
research.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know what I was going to say. But one of the things we do is we don't tell each other what we're going to be talking about. So it's a lot of it's a surprise.
And the reason we don't do that because we want to get that first reaction of what it actually means to you.
Yeah.
Yep. And so it's great. So most of the shows you see, it's just one person coming with a topic and the other two just waiting to see what crazy stuff they're going to be talking about.
How fucking crazy are you?
Not much. Well,
No?
depends on which psychiatrist you talk to.
Yeah. Yeah. He's got a couple, the jury's out.
I'm a veteran. We are nuts. Well, then again, isn't everybody in the world a little mad?
That's what makes the world go round.
See?
That's right. Well, I try not to get too political on shows like this.
Yeah, we don't want to hit that boundary very much.
Well, I'm jumping into it a little
Son
bit.
of a bitch!
See, because we're not necessarily a partisan show. I consider myself a no partisan person. I am a no partisan. I don't care what party you're in. If you got good ideas, I'll go for you. But
I agree with that. Actually,
tonight I want to kind of share a little bit with our viewers because we are in election season. It scares the shit out of me.
It's that shitty time of the year, folks.
Yeah, and we're still a year and 2 months away from any election, and we're already knee deep in the BS. So I wanted to take the opportunity to talk a little bit about what the hell our U.S. government is capable of, okay? And some of the nefarious plans that they've had in the past that, thank God, somebody with a conscience was still in a position of power to stop it. And that's false flag attacks. I know we had talked a little bit about 9/11 in a previous episode, World Trade Center 7, and basically a false flag attack is where the country fakes an attack on its own people to bolster a political or military agenda. I'm going to talk about some declassified documents that outline what the U.S. called Operation Northwoods, okay? And this was in the height of the Cuban American struggle.
I looked into this a little bit, and it's like, this is shady shit.
I've researched quite a bit, actually.
It is declassified documents that show what factions within our government, the Joint Chief of Staff, were willing to do to the people in our country just so we could invade Cuba and get communist Cuba overthrown. So I'm going to take us through very quickly. I encourage, as always, when you hear us talk about topics, we don't have enough time to really dig in and share all these in this case, gory details of what's going on. So we really encourage you folks to do some research, comment, challenge us, share some new information that maybe we're not talking about. It's all part of this crazy world that we live in, and we need to be aware of what's going on around us for us to make informed decisions.
And on top of that, to be honest with you, what you just said is we don't know what the other person is covering. So like Operation Northwoods, I've researched this quite a bit in my 9/11 research, but still, you're going to see us, like I do it a lot, I'll be like, oh, that one thing at that one time or whatever it's called, it's because I wasn't prepared to talk about it. Mm-hmm. So it's not, when you hear us say those things, it might not be because we don't know what we're talking about, but we do, I mean, how many things do we discuss? I mean, we're all over the damn board.
Well, absolutely.
So, you know, if you hear us make a mistake, it's not because we don't know what we're talking about, but it's because we do a shit ton of research on a lot of things.
But if we do make a mistake, please correct us.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. And anything that could help us with our research. I mean, it's beneficial to us. It's beneficial to you as a viewer. And damn, I'd really like a comment to give me something to go for.
Yeah, you know, we cover a lot of ground between the three of us. We hit a lot of dark corners of the internet and weird topics, all while maintaining full-time jobs outside of this. So, hey, maybe if you want to make a donation to Talk Is Cheap to help free some of us up from the daily grind of work, please. Feel free to reach out to us. We're accepting donations of all sizes so we can quit our jobs and do this full time.
I'll do a donation. Just give me 2 articles.
Yeah, which is a good point. If there's something you'd like us to talk about, dig into a little bit, share it with us.
Oh yeah, we will research anything that you put in comments. Yeah. We've had a comment. A gentleman sent us to a website. God, that was a while back. Remember that
from
one?
the Black Knight satellite one?
Yeah, and that was, and I researched it, and well,
we actually had a gentleman that worked at NASA during this time frame that shared some insight with us, and he had his own website out there.
Yeah, we want to get him on, but I need to get the Skype. We want to get him on this screen, but we need to figure out the whole Skype thing and get it all set up.
So there's a lot of great things coming up, and we do read the comments, and we're trying to be as engaging as we possibly can with our viewers. So yeah, comment. You know, my Twitter. I'm constantly on that, and we are on Facebook and
if you're ever in
Twitch
the Kickapoo Valley and want to offer some tech support on this Skype thing, just get a hold of us. We'll bring you in.
If you're ever in the area, you want to come on and tell us what your article is or what you're interested in, and we'll see. We'll fit you on.
Yep, awesome. We're
being drunk and throwing shit,
Well, not yet. That comes later.
Punching people.
Or punching people. All right, let's get into it.
All right, awesome.
So right off the bat here, this headline.
Yes, U.S. planned fake terror attacks on citizens to create support for the Cuban War. Operation Northwoods. Okay? During the Kennedy administration, we were kind of in some heightened tension with Cuba. They were communists. Russia was involved. Cold War stuff. Very scary. And with Cuba being about 90 miles off the Florida coast, our government decided that we need to get the communism out of there for threat of a potential war. So they started kind of spitballing ideas on how to do this. And if you recall, there was the Bay of Pigs invasion. That was a big debacle for the American military. And we won't get into that too much, but it was embarrassing. And so we wanted to... and I say we, the powers that be that control the military wanted to really get America's support behind a war against Cuba. Maybe an invasion or an intervention if another country were to go to war with them. What's disturbing is the lengths that they were willing to go. Shooting down aircraft, attacking military bases that we had in Cuba at the time, and pretend that they were done by the Cubans or the communists, okay? I think we can all remember after 9/11 what happened. The entire country got behind, and lo and behold, we fast-tracked a war in the Middle East, okay? Mm-hmm. And this is not a new thing. In World War II, Nazi Germany was known to do this. The Reichstag fires, look into that. The fake Polish invasion, again, where they dressed up Nazi troops in Polish uniforms and faked an invasion. So this is a tactic, a political tactic, a military tactic that's been employed. This is not, I don't even call this a conspiracy. This is the truth of what was going on at the time. Okay, there is very little wiggle room.
See, that's half of the, I didn't think to even bring something like this up because it's common sense to me that governments would stage stuff to make stuff happen because it's so ingrained. It's obviously, if you want an agenda done, of course they're going to stage something, and that's just elementary to me.
Yeah, but it's a scary thing. A lot of Americans don't know. That's why we call them sheeple.
Yeah.
And on top of that, this is the starting point for my 9/11 investigation because this says exactly what you're saying.
It outlines
exactly
planes.
That's one thing I have to think
yeah.
about. It's like, I got to take a step back, and there's people that ain't as far ahead as the research.
Yeah, and it's really true. Yeah, because if you look at this and then you look at the, people always say 9/11, but you forget the USS, that ship that was bombed by another little boat, the plane that was shot down that was flying outside that they say was a rocket. I mean, there's tons of this all over the place, but yet we always talk about 9/11 as the biggest one, but this has been going on.
Oh yeah, it's part of the playbook. It really is. And you made a good point. People aren't aware of that. Dan, to you it's obvious because you've taken the time to do a little digging in and be open-minded about this. People find this so hard to believe. They just instantly dismiss it, stick their head in the sand. Yeah. And it's important, especially now. I think everybody can agree the political climate in the U.S. is like a ravenous dog right now with each other. Oh, yeah. People are at each other's throats, and our entire system's collapsing around us, and yet there's still a huge contingency of people that think it's all right, and there's just a little over 500 lawmakers in this country that can make the changes to fix it. They choose not to. Yeah. Okay. So by design, we're in the situation we're in.
Getting paid off by somebody, of course.
It's power, it's money, it's greed, it's control,
corruption.
And, absolutely. And this is but one tiny little part of it. But with the election just bearing down on us, and we're going to come to the next year plus, I think it's important to take some time to explain really who we should be electing into these positions of power and where we've been in the past to not only avoid it but to get people out, because there's still policies, agendas that I'm sure are mirroring this to this day.
All right.
Okay. So right here, what I've got on the screen, these are declassified documents, okay? And I'll just read a little bit below it, and then we'll go up and we'll take a look at one of the documents here that I think is kind of sets the stage. We're not going to go through all of them. What do we got there? 14 up there. We're not going to go through them, but it's actually declassified documents explaining how they would go about getting Americans' support for a war on Cuba. Mm-hmm. So, codenamed Operation Northwoods, the plan, which had the written approval of the chairman and every member of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, very powerful people high up in the government agreed to this, said, oh, this is a good idea. Called for innocent people to be shot on American streets, for boats carrying refugees fleeing Cuba to be sunk on the high seas, for a wave of violent terrorism to be launched in Washington, D.C., Miami, and elsewhere. People would be framed for bombings they didn't commit. Planes would be hijacked. Using phony evidence, all of it would be blamed on Castro, thus giving Lemnitzer and his cabal, I think it's pronounced, the excuse as well as the public and international backing they needed to launch their war. Okay? So, pretty scary stuff. Can't believe it. Refuse to believe it, right? Mm-hmm. That's the reaction. How could that happen? Well, I'm going to pull up a document here that's found right on this page, and anybody out there with internet access, if you're watching the show, you can find this up. And I'll start right at the beginning. This is the one page of the next 3 pages of documents that outline the different tactics. We're just going to touch on this a little bit, and then we'll let it go. Of course, let the folks out there do us a bit of their own research. I'm not making this shit up, guys. This is the real deal.
It says that right there in black and white.
Yes. Okay. So the courses of action of getting America's support behind a war on Cuba which follow are a preliminary submission suitable only for planning purposes. They are arranged neither chronologically nor in ascending order. Okay, so it's just a list of ideas, brainstorming session. Number 1, since it would seem desirable to use legitimate provocation as the basis of U.S. military intervention. Number 2, we'll skip to number 2. A series of well-coordinated incidents will be planned to take place in and around Guantanamo Bay to give genuine appearance of being done by hostile Cuban forces. So number 1, attacking American troops in Guantanamo Bay by hostile
Cubans.
Laid out in
Cubans.
black and white saying that they're going to do that.
Incidents to establish a credible attack in no chronological order. So now they say, here we can do it. We start rumors, use clandestine radio, land friendly Cubans in uniforms over the fence to stage attack on the base, capture Cuban friendly saboteurs inside the base. Okay, so now we've got people sympathetic to us that pretend that we're going to, pretend they're going in, we're going to capture them, and start riots near the base's main gate with, again, friendly Cubans, meaning, ones that are sympathetic to our cause. Really quick, going into the next page here. Inasmuch as the ultimate objective is overt military intervention, it is recommended that primary responsibility for developing military and paramilitary aspects of the plan be assigned to the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So we know that the Joint Chiefs of Staff is involved. I want to get into some of the meat and potatoes here. Here's some. There we go.
Yeah,
this is what I was looking for. Blow up ammunition. This is a continuation of we just left off with friendlies.
This is options that they could be doing.
Yep. Blow up ammunition inside the base. Start fires. Burn aircraft. Lob mortar shells. Capture assault teams approaching from the sea or vicinity of Guantanamo Bay. Capture militia groups which storm the base. Sabotage ships in the harbor. Large fires. Naphthalene might be a precursor to napalm or something, I'm not sure. Sink ships near the harbor entrance. Conduct funerals for mock victims. We would respond by executing offensive operations. Remember, the main incident could be arranged in several forms. Blow up a U.S. ship in Guantanamo Bay. We could blow up a drone vessel anywhere. Isn't it weird how they're talking about drones way back then?
That's a good point.
Because
those drones are a bit different.
What was this year again?
Oh shit, 60s, right? Yeah,
60s.
Yeah. Cuban Cold War Missile Crisis, all that shit.
So people, if you don't understand it, it's there in black and white, saying that they're going to stage something. When people say 9/11, the government couldn't do that, they got a government document right here that says, hey, this is how we're going to stage it.
Look at the very bottom. We could develop a communist Cuban terror campaign in the Miami area, in other Florida cities, and even in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
How about this one right here? We could blow up U.S. ships in Guantanamo Bay and blame Cuba.
Yeah.
That's absolutely what they're going to do.
Mind blown.
You ever when ISIS came about and got all big, did you ever hear about the ISIS cell that was in Minnesota?
No. Oh, out of Minneapolis, right?
Yeah.
I haven't been following ISIS at all.
No, it was a big rumor. It went around and then died, and everyone's heard a damn thing about it since. But I mean, it's either people talking or whatever it happens to be. But that type of news, that type of rumor, is horrible for anybody, because then you start pointing fingers and blaming. Then we go back to the rounding up Russians and the Japanese back in the Cold War and World War II. But on top of that, it's just that little type of rumor strikes fear into people. That's the same reason they don't believe this, because all of a sudden the government's not for us.
No.
And the military is not fighting with us, they're fighting against us. That's scary shit, because we put all our faith into our government and our military.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all of a sudden our country is trying to kill us or might kill us. That's not right. That's why they put their head. Yeah. Because we're nothing but numbers and fleshy pieces of meat to them. Because ultimately, what they want to do is create a remain a superpower by our military force. And this document, like I said, is just the start.
I mean, yeah, and they're talking about hijacking attempts against civil air. It is possible to create an incident which will demonstrate convincingly that a Cuban aircraft has attacked and shot down a chartered civil airliner. I mean, all of this stuff is crazy. And it was shot down at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
Pun intended. Okay? So it didn't happen. This one didn't happen.
But this has been now the playbook for anything that's going to happen.
For the last 50 years?
Yep.
Yeah.
50, 60 years now.
And those documents are probably classified.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because this didn't come out until 40 years later. People were talking about it.
What is it? When you do a request, Freedom of Information Act, what does it take? A little while for them to declassify something?
I think what?
Well,
they have up to
and they can charge you per page and stuff. So they have all their little tricks to make it.
And
very
to make
difficult.
everything blacked out.
Yeah.
But even then, they can black stuff out, but they're still meat and potatoes there. It's like, what are they blacking out?
Well, and they do themselves a disservice in many cases because people assume the worst. The ones that already know that this stuff is out there. God, what did they black out?
Exactly
because this they released.
Yeah.
We're going to shoot down our own aircraft and blame Cuba. This is what there is. What the hell are they blacking out that they're afraid that we're going to see?
Very true.
I mean, that's crazy. So, folks out there, when you're getting tied up in the Trump and the Hillarys and what have you, think of this. You know, think of the stuff that the government's doing. Pick somebody that is going to be for the people. I don't care who it is, but we can't continue on this trajectory. It's a terrifying road we're on right now.
That's the thing is, I don't think we can take it back at the presidential level.
No,
I think
it's gotta be
whoever
everything.
gets in office, there's other people there that tells them, hey, you're doing this or you're
Well,
this.
yeah,
You're gonna end up like
because
Kennedy.
right now, it's not just the presidential. Yeah, the president, it's a joke. They're not calling the shots.
Yeah.
And we need to get a group of people in there to tell the
Congress and
people
Senate
that
and
are pulling the
else.
strings on the politicians.
And that's the lobbyists.
Lobbyists.
Yep. So, no, this is actually really good, and I've read this, and I've read stuff like this. Actually, they dropped a lot of pamphlets in
Central
Panama
America?
Canal.
Oh, Panama. Oh, yeah.
When they were doing that stuff, they had some uprising and whatnot. They have pamphlets that you can find. I found them on the deep web, and I never did save them. I don't save anything off the deep web.
You go on the deep web?
Well, damn right I do. Where do you think I get all my information? So anyway, they have pamphlets that the CIA was giving people, telling the people how to rise up against the rebels that were fighting the Americans and whatnot, saying, "Oh, you know, this is your country, and you shouldn't let these rebels fight against this, and it's great for you." So they're telling them how to make Molotov cocktails. They're telling them to cut power lines, firebomb policing.
The U.S. government has been involved in so many government overthrows, and
yeah, we can't talk. We want to talk about that?
Yeah, no. and the scary thing is when you look at it, look at how many democracies, or maybe not democracies, but elected officials have been overthrown and replaced by a hand-picked person, a dictator. We're great at setting up dictatorships across the world. Anyway, please, folks, educate yourself. Don't let Facebook tell you who to vote for. Do your own damn research. Find stuff like this. This is just one of many examples of what we're up against as a voting population.
That's our only power, too. There's a document that states the only reason why the government can't just take over America and run it like it wants is because we still have voting power.
That and the Second Amendment.
They can get rid of that. It's the voting. That's the one thing that it is. I mean, that's what this document was all about, and I would have to find it. But it just said that one reason is because we still vote in elected officials.
Allegedly.
That's what it is. Well,
now that our votes are being counted electronically overseas. Think about that. Do some research on that. Who's counting our votes? It ain't anybody in America. Remember all the hacks going? You think the government's got a secured
Florida
computer
with
system?
Gore and everything else. Gore and Bush. Florida was all counted and all that stuff.
The hanging chads, right?
All I remember is the one in Iowa with Ron Paul. Like, they shut the lights off for like 2 minutes or something. It's kind of like a whodunit. Stole the votes or whatever.
I didn't remember that. Yeah.
All of a sudden, when they did the, the pre-thing before they have the votes in Iowa, Ron Paul was supposed to be the top. All of a sudden, he's in 4th place. It's like bullshit. God.
And he's a constitutionalist, libertarian. I like him and Bernie.
I am endorsing no candidates at this point. I need to do.
I just said I like him. I ain't endorsing nobody.
I think a lot of them would be nice people to have a beer with. Don't necessarily want them to run the country.
Well, yeah. I wouldn't mind them paying off my student loans and, help me buy a new vehicle.
Again, any presidential candidate out there willing to make a donation and talk is cheap.
Well, the next time you're in La Crosse, you want to come on the show.
Lobbyists.
I wouldn't mind being one of them guys. I can talk like a mofo.
Oh, we know that.
All right. So anyway, I'm going to talk. I picked this out not only because I thought it was interesting, but because I knew Dan would absolutely love this. He's going to eat this the fuck up. So here we go. Right here, ancient humans bred with completely unknown species. And Dan, let me. Don't read too far ahead. Don't read too far ahead now. I want to be able to pop this on you like a zit. A new study presented to the Royal Society meeting
Dear Lord.
on ancient DNA in London last week has revealed a dynamic finding. The genome of one of our ancient ancestors, the Denivis, I can't say it.
Denisovans.
Yeah, so what Pete said. Contains a segment. Okay, Jesus, are you going to say it 4 or 5 times?
Denisovans.
Denisovans?
Denisovans.
All right, what he said.
Yep.
Consists of a segment of DNA that seems to have come from another species that is currently unknown to science. The discovery suggests that there was rampant interbreeding between ancient human species in Europe and Asia more than 30,000 years ago, but far more significant was the finding that they also mated with a mystery species from Asia, one that is neither human nor Neanderthal.
So what does that mean?
Oh, wait, we're not done yet because you'll like this one. All right, some have suggested the group may have been branched off of Asia, of the Homo who resided in Africa about 1 million years ago. They believe to be ancestors of Europe's Neanderthals. A paleoanthropologist.
Very good.
Yeah, that was all right, right?
Awesome, yep.
I murdered like 4 or 5 other ones. At the London Natural History Museum, admitted that they don't have the faintest idea what the mystery species could be.
Tooth and a finger bone, right?
Yeah, tooth and a finger bone, which was discovered in a Siberian cave. There's not much data available about the appearance of what they look like, but the genetics and researchers succeeded in arranging the entire genome very precisely, and we're looking at a Lord of the Rings type world that there might have been many humanoid populations. Blah, blah. Where is the one? It's an Asian. They think it's a fair-skinned Asian. Or is this someplace else? Just like that guy who had the...
Oh, God.
Yeah, remember the alien sex dude?
I do.
And I saw them looking at each other, and I picked up what they were saying. They weren't speaking, but it was telepathic communication. Again, it was, he's done this wrong, something's gone wrong, this isn't the way it's supposed to be, he's done this wrong. And I'm like... What the heck? What are you going on about? I could pick on it, I could hear it. I had an erection for like 6 hours afterwards, and it was pretty painful. And under my foreskin, I found 2 hairs.
Yeah,
because they traced that DNA to a fair-skinned, light-colored Asian. Ancient Asian species.
Yeah.
Very rare.
So wait, so how are you tying these two together now?
Well, because they're thinking that it came from Asia, and I thought that you would like that. Ancestry, because you like the Asian aliens.
I don't think he's necessarily saying that the alien.
Oh, I thought you were going to make it sense that some woman came over from Asia and fucked him in the middle of the night.
Yeah, but far more safe. Here it is. The finding that they also mated with a mystery species from Asia. So it's a mystery species from Asia that is neither human. It is neither human nor Neanderthal. So there's your Asian alien.
Yep.
It's not a human genome. It's not a Neanderthalic. It's not a Neanderthal either.
Neanderthalian.
It's not human. It's not Neanderthalian.
Neanderthalite.
It is Asian alien DNA. The same that sat on that guy's lap and had him bit her nipple off.
Oh, I knew that was good. Man.
Boom.
You know what's great? And
so what are you saying here?
I'm saying that same chick that sat on that guy's bed and threw his head up against the nipple was breeding with these damn humans, and that's why we can't.
Possibly. The scientists themselves.
You're crazy. Do you know what the chances are of a fucking woman like that?
This shit.
It's interesting. I love it because the one thing is that.
But you're saying it's not an alien.
No, it is because it's not human nor Neanderthal. This DNA they found in there is not human.
Okay.
This is not Neanderthal. Well, this is a completely different,
potentially undiscovered hominid species, similar to the rising sun find. You've heard about that recently.
But that's still a human genome. This is not human, nor Neanderthal. This is alien.
Well, okay,
right?
Okay, I think in this case they're talking human being Homo sapien.
No,
okay,
I'm
what they discovered, I know you are. What they discovered in the rising star cave is was not member of the Homo. So I think that's what we got to understand here is human in this case is Homo sapiens. Neanderthal, Homo, nothing, alien. What I think is very interesting is that the scientists in this article said what we're finding is that we had a Lord of the Rings type scenario with all of these different types of hominids running around. You know, we had hobbits, we had Homo sapiens, we had Neanderthals, we had potential, pygmy people, and we have pygmies today that live in Australia.
But we also have stories about aliens or Nephilim or fallen angels having sex with humans and giants and everything else.
Yeah,
I just made your missing link, so
well,
I just made
they would never
credible.
admit if they said it looked like it was an advanced civilized race that.
No, we'd have to do more research on where it came
Yep.
from. Yeah. But yeah, I thought
So
that
more
was
to
great.
come on that.
He fights with me. I do something nice.
No, I
for
thought
him.
you were trying to debunk what I had.
No, this was. I think this kind of goes along with it because it's saying, hey, we don't know where this DNA is coming from, and yes, you're absolutely right. The Lord of the Rings, we might have had pygmies and hobbits and so on and so forth.
And we interbred with one another,
Yep.
and we have to acknowledge that the fossil record is so incomplete.
Oh,
we
completely,
don't,
yeah.
And so I think what they're going to probably find out over time is that this is probably just another yet undiscovered
Alien.
hominid. I'm saying hominid. I'm not saying that aliens can't be hominids.
I'm saying this is a good proof of aliens coming down and porking.
And banging humans.
I prefer the
I
word
will
porky.
respectfully disagree with you on your
Do your damn
assessment.
research.
And I would like to say that our good friend Occam would suggest that this is just a previously undiscovered terrestrial hominid.
Or extraterrestrial.
At the end of the
That
day,
would be your opinion.
I'll
No,
just
actually,
say
I understand.
everybody's fucking everybody, and that's all it is.
We do
Except
live in
for-
Amish country.
Sometimes you get a morning surprise and you get an erection for 4 hours.
You're supposed to call somebody that lasts.
Was it 6
More
hours?
than 4 hours, you got to call somebody, and it's like a needle in
No,
it
like
and
I
suck all
said,
the blood
6
out.
hours.
He had one for 6 hours?
Yeah, that's right. He
I
did.
had an erection for like 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours, 6 hours.
So anyway, I thought it was an
Oh,
excellent.
for cry.
Whether or not it's alien or not, though, it's pretty interesting. Like you said,
What is this picture?
that's the cave they found it in,
Okay.
and it's also going nuts. You see that cave? that
Yeah.
thing was twerking.
All right.
So everyone's mad at me.
All right,
I'm
come
never-
on, Dan.
I'm never gonna on the show
No,
again.
I don't want to top it.
Yeah, let's get this ship righted. Oh, this is gonna
This
be awesome.
guy, did you see this?
No, I no. Just now, I just
This
saw
one
it.
blew my mind. It's like, I knew about this probably 3-4 years ago. This added to my shit, like knowing that UFOs and aliens are real. Because this guy, out of the blue, says he can summon UFOs, and he brings News 13. So we're not talking about the mainstream Fox News that's gonna fucking whitewash it. This is the local shit.
Yeah, it'll never make national stage, but
Right.
it'll run in the local area.
Brought him out and summons a UFO for him on TV.
Is this America? I'm sorry. Did you say where
Yeah,
this
he
was
said
yet?
ABC. It's
Correct.
right?
It is ABC.
Yeah, it has to
American
be,
Broadcast
I think.
Company or
Well,
corporation?
Do they have a ABC? Do they have a big one?
ABC
Yeah.
13.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I can't hear him.
We met up with Prophet Yahweh, seer of Yahweh, at Doolittle Park off Lake Mead. we
Lake
picked
Mead.
the day, we picked the time, and we picked the location.
Wow.
Everyone's going to think you're absolutely nuts. Well, I thought I was absolutely nuts.
Until he says he saw UFOs. Over the years, 1,500 of them.
Can we make it 1,501 today? What do you think? I'll try it.
He says the voice in his head told him to go public now. So we took him up on his offer, and we scanned the skies. Nothing but a few clouds. When the prophet started praying for a sighting, I wasn't exactly convinced.
I pray, oh Yahweh, that you send a sighting so that they know that I am not mentally ill. I am not a false prophet, like those who seek to kill me say I am.
I see something straight up.
Oh, brother, look at it. There it is.
You can barely see it, a white speck. Then another sighting.
There it is. I got it.
Photojournalist Jonathan Hawkins locks in on it. Let's take a closer look here. It's an orange sphere that appeared out of nowhere. I call the boss with an unexpected change in my story.
I can see it clear as day. In fact, it's bright.
I can't believe this.
It's moving pretty fast.
It's going to Nellis Air Force Base. It wants to be seen.
We called Nellis to see what these things might be. Guess what? They didn't call us back.
Oh, surprise! Surprise!
Coming toward
Dude,
us now, I think.
That is
What?
absolutely
coming up
blows
toward
my
us.
mind.
Whoa, man! Oh, hallelujah!
Then, a few seconds later, it disappeared.
It's going back up in space.
Prophet Yahweh isn't concerned. He says it'll be back.
Oh my
Pretty
God!
fucking
And I'm
crazy,
still
huh?
not quite.
How could you fake something like that? They picked the day, the time, the location. This guy was not a
Weather balloon.
They picked the day, the time, location.
Okay, they had to tell him. Then he's like, "Hey guys, go get that weather balloon."
Go blow up that artificial balloon
Yeah,
again.
quick and launch it.
Yeah.
Well, and okay, so maybe it was a weather balloon. Then this guy can fucking call weather balloons in. That's awesome.
Right,
You know, that's
pretty
still
good.
a
Yeah.
crazy feat.
That's not bad.
That is...
The fact is, these UFOs actually, they're a higher intelligence. They communicate through your telepathically, your thoughts. And this is where I'm going to go off the deep end, and now you're going to call me crazy because I've done this one time before in my night, and I actually manifested one. Boom!
Explain that scenario. You were indoors, outdoors?
I was indoors. This was when I lived in Coon Valley, probably 4 years ago. Woke up early that one day. I think it was a day we went down and confronted John McCain. He was coming to...
you went down to confront
Well, we didn't
John
confront him, but I was filming it, whatever.
Yeah.
Looked out the side of the window. I got my... Because when you're in your sleep state, you got a higher vibration.
Yeah.
So I brought myself up. I was like, okay, if you want me to see something, guys, I want to see it now. I had a little view. I had 2 pine trees, so it was a very small part of the sky.
So you were sleeping outside?
No, I was in my room, but I was looking out the window.
Oh, okay,
It's got this really small view, so I don't have a view of the sky.
Yeah,
it's
no,
a view of the sky like,
right in front of you.
that's small. I said, if you want, show me something, guys, this is the time to do it. This fucking star lit up bright, stationary, bright, holding that spot, went across the sky.
And then out of the view of the window.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I was like, right when I asked for it. Coincidence?
Were you just waking up, you said?
I was up for a little while, yeah.
I'm not going to speculate on, because Dusty's going to go down the hallucination, pareidolia, whatever, what have you, road.
You're still sleeping.
And I wasn't still sleeping. I know when I'm still sleeping.
Yep, and I don't think that makes you crazy at all.
No.
Crazier, not crazy, you know. A little humor there.
Well, there's a guy, Stephen Greer, that takes people out. You can, whatever, he charges a fee, take them out under the stars, and he'll get everybody's mind together, and you can bring one in.
These are the golden ones I talked about. Let's welcome their beings on board to join us in meditation.
I've been trying this the last couple weekends with some of my buddies. We haven't had anything too out of the ordinary yet, but I'm thinking with the right amount of people.
Too out of the ordinary? Have you had anything out of the ordinary?
Well, they're shooting stars, but and then you see these things that could be satellites, but then they go like this. Satellites don't do that 90 degree.
Yeah, no, they don't.
So you're asking that question, could that just be a UFO that's turning?
Because who's documenting all that? You know, like government. They're not going to tell us anything. They know all about it.
Interesting.
So Dusty's all skeptical about this, but some alien from Asia coming over in the middle of the night.
I did that for Dano. I don't say I believe in it. I was just being nice.
Yeah.
And since you tore the shit out of my thing, let me just tear the shit out of this one.
Hey, just so you know, I liked your story.
Now you're going to jump on my back.
I thought it was very good. That is really good. That is something, again, that I'm going to have to do a little additional research on, because that is crazy. I would like to see where this guy's at. Get a hold of him. Get him on the show.
Get him on the show.
Prophet Yahweh.
Because we can go on site. We could go right out back here to the field.
He said he did it, 1,500 times?
Why can't they bring him any closer then?
Bring him.
Why are they always balls of light in the damn sky?
Yeah, why don't they bring the big disc
This is
down?
about gradual, trying to acclimate the public.
They made 3 Men in Black movies. I think we all are acclimated to aliens.
We're gonna, before I die, aliens will be a known fact, and we will have contact with them.
Is that what you're thinking?
Yes.
Because I thought by the time I hit 30, I was gonna be able to travel into space.
Well, you're just crazy.
We can travel into space right now.
I'm talking about you and me and Dupree. We all could at any time.
Well,
I also thought they were going to have a space elevator in Florida. Apparently that doesn't work.
Yeah, well, our friends from Virgin are getting ready for those public space flights,
and our friends from Virgin are going to charge so much that you and I are going to be able to go.
That's what credit cards are for.
Oh.
Before we end the show, I want to play one more clip.
Oh, my God.
I showed this to you already.
So funny.
I just want to end on a funny note.
Oh, my God.
Gentlemen.
Less than a minute now. Tool time for 200. This term for a long-handled gardening tool can also mean an immoral pleasure seeker. Ken.
What's a hoe?
No. Whoa.
Whoa. Rake? Would you have given him the points?
Absolutely. Is it a rake?
It is a rake.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I would have gave it to him.
I would have said hoe all day long.
Yeah.
An immoral pleasure seeker.
Oh. Well, since we're on the Jeopardy topic, you had heard about that gal that made Alex Trebek say Turd Ferguson in Final Jeopardy?
Nuh-uh.
Turd Ferguson was based on an SNL skit where Will Ferrell was Alex Trebek and I think it was Norm Macdonald was Burt Reynolds. They were doing Celebrity Jeopardy, and Burt, like halfway through the skit, erased his name and put Turd Ferguson on it, and that was the big running joke at SNL. I just like how it sounds. Anyway, some gal on Final Jeopardy didn't know the answer and wrote that as her answer. And got Alex Trebek to say it, so she got her 15 minutes of fame. So
that was good.
Go SNL.
Actually, I was researching this guy too. He said he actually knew the answer, but because he wanted to say the whole thing. Because look how far ahead he is.
Yeah.
He didn't have nothing to lose.
The other people
Do they have to pay that money to Alex Trebek?
Yep.
Damn that motherfucker! He's got it figured out, don't he?
If they're negative, they got to pay it.
No.
Would it be cool?
I think they get like $1,000 anyway for a parting gift, like a "you suck" gift. They get $1,000.
God, wouldn't that be nice? You suck. Here's $1,000. Fuck, I don't need to win.
Oh, I'd have been a millionaire by now.
I really thought that was a really I got a joke, but it's so wrong. I'm not gonna say it.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Talk is cheap. Please like, share, tweet,
comment, subscribe,
Pinterest, Instagram, MySpace.
MySpace? Are you crazy?
Jesus.
Facebook.
Mine.
Do all that
I
stuff.
still have my MySpace.
Oh my God.
MySpace is still around. So,
I still have it, but I don't use it.
Yeah, no. Send us a letter.
No.
That would be actually more tangible.
I suppose.
Than MySpace.
Who wants to put their address up?
One thing I want to go out on a limb here. If you guys are watching this and you want to send us a little video even, and we'll throw you on the show if you want to ask a question and say we should research something, and we'll do it. That'd be cool to have other people.
Yeah. Like a video subscribe or a video question or something. Yeah, we really do like to interact with our viewers. I think it's really fun.
Absolutely. You want some fashion advice? Something like that. Send us some photos of different outfits.
We can vote to see whether or not you believe in the prophet. Whatever,
Yahweh, the UFO magnet. Yes.
Just put yes or no in comments. We'll tally it up. Watch it be 2. It'll be me and you.
Yeah, we won't even vote for ourselves.
All right, we're done.
So awesome. Thanks, everybody. And be sure to stay tuned. We got a lot of more great episodes coming. And as you can tell, you never know what the heck's going to come out of our mouths. So...
About it,
Well, I don't know how to get pussy. I'm sorry.
What? Did not hear that. I think that was coming.
We'll catch that in editing.
All right, let's comment.
All right.
Talk is cheap, motherfuckers.
What's that? I got a heart on.
all this talk about taking talk is cheap.
It should be good.
Awesome.
I was just playing, Dan. It's okay. It's Jesus.
Hey, don't piss me off.
Dan's using his psycho powers on me.
Fucking A,
That
Christ.
doesn't fall over.
I think we're all right.
I think we're all right. It looks good.
We had a mild
prayer and we're good to go.
I think that was a mild tremor we felt. Hello, Internet. Welcome to Talk is Cheap, where cheap is talk and talk is cheap. Let me start that over. I'm sorry.
Hello, Internet.
Yep.
I like the whole internet. Hello there in TV land.
Internets. Say internets.
Yeah,
Interwebs.
cyberweb. I'm going to say cyberweb.
Cyberweb.